Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you all very, very much indeed. Arteta's lost his mind. Arteta has lost his mind. And what's interesting now is that Gooners are starting to see it. They are not falling for the same corporate spin doctor nonsense. They've said no. No! Arteta, hush. Mikel Arteta has claimed this morning that Arsenal have just been unlucky. Unlucky! Unlucky, he says. Unlucky. Arsenal fans. Mikel Arteta is putting your relegation battle down to being unlucky. I tell you what's unlucky, that you appointed him as your manager. That's the only thing Arsenal fans have got to feel unlucky, that he is your manager. What an embarrassment. What an absolute embarrassment. Do me a favor, hit that like button right now, people. Smash it. Equally, sign up to our Discord server. The link for that is inside our description below. And you can become an official member of the Football Terrace by clicking the join button on your screen now or clicking on the link in the description below. But let's take a little read. Let's take a little read here, my lovely, lovely people. Obviously, it is a really complicated situation. Complicated. That's the first bit that stood out to me here. Complicated, Arteta. What's complicated about it? Football is a simple game, bruv. But I am very encouraged from what I see from the players who try to continue what they are doing. What are you seeing, Arteta? What are you seeing, bruv? What are you seeing, bruv? Your players are awful at the moment. What is it that you are seeing? Crazy. We have to improve. But as well, I think we have been very unlucky not to pick up more points. In what games? In what games? Arsenal fans, what is your manager talking about? The only game, really, that you've been... Hang on a minute, think about it. You were lucky to beat Man United. You got a penalty. The game should have probably been a draw, right, for balance of play. What else? Every other game you played in, you were second best. Second best in creativity, second best in fight, second best in passion, second best in ability, second best in tactics. On what planet do you deserve more points, Gooners? You can call the show, by the way. The link's in the description below to call in as well. We have done well in the Europa League. You're playing Dundalk, bruv. Dundalk and Mould, brother. Dundalk and Mould. And in the Cups, but struggled to get results in the Premier League. The reason we are losing matches is because the margins are so small, but we need to change those margins quickly. Those margins quickly before the situation becomes impossible. Do you know what? This is just corporate spin. This is just corporate spin and corporate nonsense again and again and again from Mikel Arteta. And I think what's really beautiful to see is that Gooners are no longer falling for it. Gooners are waking up now. Gooners are sitting there going, do you know what? This is nonsense. There's another thing he said here, bruv. Honest to God, right? Look at this. The spirit and fight the boys show every time they go on the pitch, you can see. You cannot deny that. Yes, you can. You can completely deny it. You get outworked, outmuscled, and outthought and fought in every single game, bruv. What are you chatting about? Honest to God, the man's the Spanish Mr. Bean. These comments are crazy. Just because he wears nice Gucci chinos and a smart jacket, because he's got a bit of a handsome face, don't mean... What? What are we reading here? Arteta has lost his mind. And do you know the most embarrassing thing? Arsenal have now informed Mr. Ornstein that they're going to stick with this guy. They're probably going to give him more players in January. And do you know what that does? The man like a gal are going to sit there and be like, January's going to come. We're going to sign X, Y, and Z. We'll be back. And then as soon as they sign a player or two, maybe they pick up a good result. Maybe they beat Chelsea. Maybe they beat City tomorrow, and then they beat Chelsea Boxing Day. And it'll be, Like, crisis averted. Arteta was right. We are unlucky. I'm telling you now, people are going to go back to these unlucky comments in a few weeks' time and be like, Arteta was right. Look, we've won a couple on the bounce. No, bruv. No, bruv. Absolutely no. It's terrible. I'm reading here. This is the worst points return, 14 from 14 matches since the 1975 season. You nearly lost 5 home games on the bounce for the first time in your club's history. This is... You're in your own miniature pandemic, bruv. This is an Arsenal pandemic. Arsenal pandemic. And Mikel Arteta is saying, we're unlucky. Oh, we're unlucky. We're unlucky. Fool. Mug. Fool. If any of you gooners are buying into this, I'm going to quote Prime here, you're an embarrassment and you deserve this. Every Arsenal fan should be coming out and ramming this article down his throat, you know. What is this PR nonsense? What spin doctor tried to produce this for you? Arsenal have not been unlucky. They have been rank average from the start of this season. They had a couple of decent results at the beginning. That was it. Though they were the lucky moments. The games you've won this season have been the anomaly. Everything else is part and parcel of what you've become under Mikel Arteta. And yes, the end of the 2019-2020 season, the new pragmatic approach was working. It yielded some fantastic results. You won an FA Cup, and that should always be celebrated. But what it essentially did, in hindsight, of course, is a very lucrative commodity. It papered over cracks. It papered over cracks that were gaping. I mean, the Grand Canyon. You basically filled the Grand Canyon in. And a lot of gooners fell for it. A lot of them bought into the ideals. A lot of them listened to the non-negotiable PR nonsense and didn't wake up and smell the coffee. I, as a neutral, saw your improvements. I'm like, okay, well done, Arteta. You're doing some things. But how will it evolve? It hasn't. As soon as teams worked out Arteta's system, as soon as they learned how to nullify it and break it down, there's nothing. There's zero substance there. No substance at all. And I'm telling you, if he wore an oversized Diodora tracksuit and his name was Michael Arthur, Arsenal fans wouldn't have backed him this long. They would have had him out the door weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago. He is awful. Awful. And he's now selling you this nonsense. How many of you gooners are going to buy this? How many of you are going, oh, yeah, unlucky run, bruv. We've got to stop it, but it's unlucky. Trust the process. Or how many of you are going to join the rat army and get out of here and start protesting your club, protesting to sack the manager, protesting the owners, make them invest properly, make them hire a manager and a coaching team that actually has the ability to win? How about they change their stance and their view and want to make Arsenal a brilliant football team again and not just a brilliant business? How many of you are actually going to stand up and do something tangible for your football club? I don't know how many are going to. But for me, this is one of the most embarrassing interviews I've ever seen from a football manager in my life. Unlucky. Man sounds like Ty, bruv. He sounds like Ty blaming the rain. Literally, that is what Arteta sounds like. That's your manager. That's your manager, gooners. That's the guy that's running your football club, Arsenal. Him. That man. Honest to God. It's like your dad turning up to pick you up from school wearing sandals and socks. Do you know what I mean? It's nasty, bruv. It's nasty. It really is. I don't know how many more gooners are going to support him for how much longer, but as far as I'm concerned, the geezer is well out of his depth, has no idea what he's doing, but he's being led, okay? But he's being led by a bunch of clowns who don't want to make you a top team again on the football pitch. Forget the finances. It's all about what you do on the football pitch. We're going to delve into some of your calls now. Lines are open. Smash that like button. Hit that share button as well for us. Let's do this. We've got Marble Hall's TV here. He's a gooner. What do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, well, the thing with Arteta is that, well, for me, he should have gone weeks ago. He's out of his depth, as you say. He fucks up his tactics every week. Look, the thing is, I generally reckon that it's the wrong job at the wrong time for him. This is way too big for his first ever job. Yes, he's won a trophy, but he should have gone to, say, like I was going to say mid-level Premier League club, but we're lower than mid-level at the moment, but you know what I mean. Say, let's say hypothetical Crystal Palace was open, or even a championship club, even obviously Spanish, right? So let's say a mid-table La Liga club or whatever. But coming to Arsenal, his first ever job in his managerial career, was a big mistake. It was a mistake for us to get him. In a way, it was a mistake for him to take the job. You can't blame him for that. You know, I would.
Mate, I get why he took the job. You know, I understand it. It's just embarrassing. Like hindsight's very, very lucrative. But as you say, it's embarrassing. It's his first job. Arsenal were in a shambles, and they're now in a position where it's going from bad to worse. And what I will say, all banter aside, the lack of experience and know-how as a manager legitimately could relegate you, because it's him knowing how to handle the situation. And right now, I'm just seeing a lot of ostriches at Arsenal. They're burying their heads in the sand. They're talking about investing more money into this failed project in January. And it's only going to end in tears. It really is only going to end in tears, mate.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, people are entitled to their opinions, but I just don't get where the faith that he can turn it around comes from. It's not logical to me. You know, I don't go around cussing people who want him in. That's their right to their view. But for me, I just think we need to cut ties and get someone more experienced. You know, Rafa Benitez is in China. Well, I wanted him when Emery left, right? Because he's managed big clubs before. He's had success at big clubs before. Yeah, he didn't win the league at Liverpool, but he won the Champions League. He won the FA Cup. You know, he's been successful wherever. Even Newcastle, he didn't win anything there, but he got them. They got relegated, but he got them back up. And, you know, the only reason he left there is because he couldn't get on with Mike Ashley. But I think, well, the major reason I wanted to call, obviously Arteta for me has to go, but the major reason is that, in a way similar to what you've said about Man United for years now, our issue is our owner, just like the issue for your club is your owner, right? Or your owners, right?
Yeah.
And I think we as a fan base, we need to start to come together and think, you know what? How can we put pressure on the Kroenkes? How can we get them to change? It's very difficult to get them to leave, I acknowledge that, but for them, they have to change their ways. They have to, for me, the issue with the Kroenkes is, you know, they just want us to be at a certain financial level. They don't care about sporting success or footballing success. They just want us to be at a level.
Yeah.
I was going to say top four, but obviously we're not top four anymore. So,
bro, do you know what it is? It's not even that. With your owners, I would bet a serious chunk of money on the approach of your owners being, let's reduce our overall costs as an organization to a point where not qualifying for the Champions League leaves us in the same position financially. So whether you come 17th or you come 5th is inconsequential. If you come in the top 4, it's a bonus to them. I think they're going to fix their financial model. And by the way, I don't make Man United too much different from that either. Like I genuinely believe that they're run in the same way. Man United are just, and look, we might listen, Man United are just less years into the decline. You guys are 16, 17 years into yours, where we're kind of 8 years into it. So look, I wouldn't be surprised if Man United are where you are in another 5 or 6 years either. It wouldn't, I hope it doesn't happen, but it wouldn't surprise me. Marble Hall, thank you very much for coming on, mate. And for all your support of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to me, brother. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, thanks. No problem.
Man, thank you. Next one says their revenue has been tanking for 4 years. Yes, but what's their expenditure saying? And then compare it to their peak years and how much money they're making, and focus and look at the overarching value of the organization, because all those things need to be focused on. We've got Gabriel, we've got Alfie on with us now. What's going on, boys?
What's happening, Terry?
Yeah,
What's up, Terry? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. One of you's breathing quite heavily with your microphone. That must be Alfie. I see that mic by his mouth then. I was going to say,
I don't know. Is it me?
There it is. I mean, we're talking Arsenal right now. Arteta, I want to ask you boys this. I'm going to go to Gabriel first. Arteta has said, right? Arteta has said that they're unlucky to be in this position.
Wow. He is being deluded. He's being deluded. Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro.
Terry, Arteta was never supposed to receive that job in the first place. They gave a mammoth task to a novice. And now it is like they were expecting Arteta to do what actually Oli is doing right now.
Do you know,
if you look at Arsenal, do you know that something shocking? Arsenal have the most expensive front three in the league. Their front three between Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang is more expensive than Liverpool's front three, more expensive than Man City's front three, Man United, Tottenham, any of the top six, even in the Premier League. Between the front three, Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Pepe, they've spent over 150 million. So if you look at it just on the plain analytics of that, their attack, their board has put investment into their attack. And whether we can say Lacazette is not good enough, remember Lacazette was wanted by Simeone. Lacazette was even wanted by PSG when he was at Lyon. Lacazette was wanted by Juventus. Aubameyang likewise, when he was at Dortmund, there were 6 offers on the table. And Dortmund chose the offer of Arsenal because their initial output was higher than what Chelsea, what Man United, what Real Madrid, and all these clubs that had inquired of Lacazette because of the turmoil he was experiencing. You look at Pepe. Pepe, before he came into the Premier League, he had amongst the most outputs as a right winger. So this is pure underperforming from the manager. The manager's not created a system that can utilize these creative players. He's out Ozil, who could be their creative nucleus. He's let go of Guendouzi, the only midfielder that would have passion. It's like he struggles with players that will question his system, question his defensive, pragmatic. And I'll even go as far as to say Emre was even better than him.
Well, on paper, you're right, barring winning the FA Cup. Alfie, I mean, what's your thoughts on these comments about him being unlucky? Unlucky,
mate. Let me tell you, it's the opposite. He was lucky to win the FA Cup. You know, when he won the FA Cup and he started this season, and they started well. I said to my friends, I said, mate, he's just a Spanish Harry Redknapp. Yeah,
sure.
He won the FA Cup, no problem. Yeah, you're not gonna make top 6. You're not gonna make top 6. Yeah, if a manager like Roberto Di Matteo can do the Champions League in half a season,
sure.
Yeah, and have a bad start and get sacked at Chelsea. I know Chelsea got different philosophy. Yeah, what makes you think Arteta is untouchable? Why are these guys going on like Arteta? You know what? As a United fan, I'm not going to lie. You know, do you remember when we had our bad managers and all them Arsenal fans were just like, yeah, long live David Moyes and like we hope Van Gaal stays because you're so crap and all of this. But I hope Arteta stays because this is good. You know, this is nice. It's nice, but also at the same time, I want to ask these Arteta in people. He won you just the FA Cup. That's the Spanish Harry Redknapp, yeah, the Spanish Harry Redknapp, yeah. And Harry Redknapp he's not a bad coach, but you know, that's not top 4. That's not top.
Bro,
4.
I even think that's disrespectful to Harry Redknapp. Be like, Harry Redknapp had. You know what I mean? Like, do you know what it is about that? I feel a bit sorry for him in the sense of if he went into an Arsenal when they were at the peak of their powers, I think he could have learned his trade. Man's cutting his teeth. A club in turmoil. A club, yes, because of their riches, they're still in the. If they were a poorer club with a smaller fan base, being run how they've been run for the last 15 years, they'd already be in the Championship. They're only where they are because of the money that they have, as it were. Same as Man United, the way we've been run. If we weren't as globally the size we were, we didn't have the income we did, we wouldn't have stayed where we are, as an example. But the irony in it is that we have a much better manager than they do, which is helping us now. But you know what's really annoyed me with Gooners is how they've fallen for the PR, how they've fallen for this. You know, the reason that Aubameyang signed is all because of Arteta and his system and his Paul and he's charm. What's a load of old nonsense. Go on, Gabriel.
He's gone missing.
He's frozen a little bit there.
Yeah. But do you know what really annoys me about this whole thing? Özil. Where is your guy Özil? Do you know? You know what? Listen to this stat. I saw this stat a couple of about Özil. I thought to myself, how can you leave a man like this out? Özil at the age of 21, top assister Bundesliga. At the age of 21, still top assister World Cup. 23, top assister La Liga. 23, top assister in Champions League. 27, top assister in Premier League. 27, top assister in Europa League. What are you struggling for now, Easy KJ? What are you struggling for now? Creativity. Bro,
and I don't even mind them removing Ozil. It's not replacing the creativity, which is the criminal act here. You know, it's like with Man United. We may end up this January, this summer, selling Paul Pogba for one reason or another. I don't want Paul Pogba to go personally, but if we do, the crime isn't allowing Pogba to leave. It isn't replacing him. The crime was never letting Cristiano Ronaldo leave. It was replacing him with Michael Owen and Valencia and Obertan, like thinking that was going to equate to a Cristiano Ronaldo. Like that is the biggest problem these clubs have got. But it's because Arsenal run so poorly. And this is what I keep saying to their fans over and over again. Every year, I've seen Arsenal do this for 15, 16 years. My boy was here at the weekend with me, right? And we were talking about every year, Arsenal would end the season well. And it'd end the season well because the pressure was gone. And by the end of the season, it was, wow, look, we've won 8 of our last 12 games. We've beaten some big teams. We're going to do great next year. Now, the older football fans remember this because you were grown-ups when this was going on. Every season, they'd end it well. They'd start the new campaign. And they might start the new campaign well, but as soon as it goes, Arsenal fans have got this habit of calling Spurs bottlers. I've seen Arsenal bottle things at the highest level now for 15, 16 years. It's the way their club has run. It's just absolutely embarrassing. It really is. We're going to throw Tommy into this call as well now. Tommy, what are you going to say, bro?
Thank you. You have literally made my Christmas now coming on this call. I've been wanting this forever to come on. Thank you so much. Thank you, Father Christmas Terry.
That's a new one.
Oh, mate, I just want to shut down all these Arteta in people. Honestly, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, Arteta should go. The people that are trusting the process, on the other hand, they're telling people not to trust the ball. So how can you trust the process, but they're not trustable? That's telling you to trust the process.
Thank you.
Do you want to know why, Tommy? You want to know why, Tom? Because they know because they know that doing that means they've got to put more pressure on Arteta, and they don't for narcissistic reasons. Because they've backed Arteta. Listen, I'm friends with DT. I like him. The reason DT smashed his phone up the other day is because he's backed the wrong horse. And at the moment, the cognitive dissonance that's been created is because he doesn't know how to get himself out of that hole without saying he was wrong. And that's what happens. So when it's easy to, I'll blame the board instead, and I'll blame the players instead. Yeah, but how do you trust this board to fix the situation with Arteta there? And if you're blaming the players, the ones that Arteta's picking, that's still slightly on him. It's like with the Ollie situation. I'll go back to you in a sec, Tommy. I don't say that Ollie is exempt from blame with things that have gone wrong. I don't think he's the biggest problem, but I address all 3 things at once. We still need to improve our squad. I still think to win the Premier League and Champions League, we need a better manager than Ollie. But overarchingly, we need a better board. We need to run the club better. Arsenal fans went the other way in the summer. It was Arteta is the man. He's taken us back to the promised land. It's all gone tits up, and now they're scurrying like rats trying to work out how they get themselves out of this situation.
No, what I was going to say is I want to know about the myth that Arsenal had a period where when he come and he done well. When he started doing well was after the lockdown. when before lockdown he was doing rubbish. He got knocked out Europa League. Do you remember what was his first game? Bournemouth or something where he drew. He lost against Chelsea. Yeah, they had good performances, but they weren't
you know
getting
what
the
happens,
results.
Tommy? What happens, Tommy, is that they do what they do in terms of they beat us through whatever judge they use, and then Arsenal fans, and then Arsenal fans again use that as a stick to be like, you see, my manager's better than yours. We're the best club in London. Blah 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 blah.
Mentality. That's the small club mentality. All their fans are now doing what us West Ham fans we do when we go, oh, we've won the World Cup. What have you won? Like. Going in the past, that's small club mentality,
mate. Do you know what? Living in the East End of London all my life, bro. The amount of West Ham fans who say we won the World Cup, do you know what made me sick? The best player at the World Cup was a Man United player. Hashtag Bobby Charlton. But listen, Tommy, mate, I appreciate you coming on, having your say, mate. We'll chat you soon, brother. Come on the show tonight after the West Ham Chelsea game.
Oh no,
please, bro. Because if you win, if you win, you can give people smoke.
All right, mate. See you soon. Top man, thank you. We're going to throw Daniel on, who's a gooner next. Daniel, what you saying, brother?
You right, Terry? Good afternoon, guys. Right now, I don't blame Arteta anymore because I told you he should have gone after Aston Villa when I called you. I'll just blame this on the board now because they're just leaving him to just rot. Like, I don't know what to say anymore because for me, this is not just the manager problem. It's from top to bottom. For me, it's the owners, then it's the board, then it's the manager, then it's the coaching staff, then it's the players, and then it's the ambition of the fan base. How other people chat about our fans chat about other clubs' teams. I'm not really on social media anymore, and I kind of took a break. But when United moved to the Europa League, I knew Arsenal fans were going to take the piss out of them, and I'm just like, why? We're 15th. They're second, I think, or second or third.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying now, if I was the owner, because if Arteta did get sacked, a bit will change, but not much. Because what they'll do, they won't hire a top manager. They'll go and hire someone like Patrick Vieira. Eddie will hire Patrick Vieira, who's his mate from the Invincible team. That's what he will do. I know.
Yeah, but Vieira is still a better appointment than Arteta.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Vieira to bits, but he's not the man for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it's just, I think it's just now it's the board's issue and the owner's issue. And I listen to Lee Gunn a lot on this channel, and I agree what he says. But he says the board are the biggest issue, which I agree. But I think it's the owners because the owners should know that what are these guys doing? They're not doing the job properly. Sack them.
Yeah.
Let me finish. What I'll do if I was the owner, get rid of Vinay, get rid of Edu, bring back David Dean as the chief executive officer, bring Mark Overmars as the director of football, and bring David O'Leary back onto the board. Then you need good owners because they will stabilize the club much more better, not much more, millions times better than these people are doing. Then you will have a much different change of the philosophy of the club. But right now, I don't blame Arteta anymore because I wanted him gone 2-3 months ago. They're leaving him to fail.
I have a question to you then. First of all, Viva la Resistance. I can see you on that train, and welcome to Vibes FC. And that I can see you on that train. You've got the Arsenal badge as your Avi right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to assume that you do, but do you buy Arsenal kits?
No, I know. Hear exactly what you said because I remember you were speaking to Lee Gunn on that podcast about the AFTV lot buying all the Arsenal gear. No, I do not do that because I'm protesting against Kroenke. All the Arsenal stuff I have is the Arsenal away kit from 2016 to 17, which was bought for me for Christmas. Yeah, that was 4 years ago now. And an Arsenal training kit from 2 years ago, which was a discount from Adidas. And that's it. I do not buy any merch because I don't go to games. I don't buy any merch. If I wanted to buy an Arsenal t-shirt, I'll just buy an those art t-shirts of the legends they have on other websites.
Yeah.
That's what if I was going to buy something, I'll probably buy.
I like that, Daniel. Daniel. Great points being made, mate. Thank you very much for coming on, speaking your mind. No problem. We've got the Arsenal ranter that's on next. Arsenal ranter, what you saying, bruv? Oh, he bottled it. He bottled it. We got man like Prime. I know Prime's here to pour some salt on these slugs, bruv. What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I was just taking my time this morning, waking up and that, and then someone said that you've quoted me saying that Arsenal fans do deserve this. So thank you.
Prime is acting like this is the greatest moment of his life right now.
Hey, I haven't had many achievements in life, but you know,
Prime,
everything I've been saying about Arsenal has been 100% honest and true. People want to say I'm being salty and whatever. Cool. When they beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final, right? Not many people know this. It was actually my dad's funeral. And after that game, I actually deeped it and I said, this actually might be my dad's long-lasting present for me, because Arsenal fans will get gassed and they'll probably get relegated this season or this coming season. So this could probably be the best thing or that my dad has probably left for me. So amazing. Thank you.
Saying, as your dad passed through the gates to heaven, he's like, yo, God, Jesus, come here, bruv. Like, I'm not sure your dad didn't speak like me, but like, yo, bruv, come here. I need you to do one favor for my son. Oh, you want us to make sure he lives a long and healthy life and married? No, you need to make sure Arsenal are in the mud for him. You're saying that's what your dad, bro. Your dad did that. He's a G, bruv. I love that.
Honestly, like I've had a lot of. This year has been really down for me with lockdown and dad passing away, and I spent a month just clouded in darkness, and being part of this community with you guys has really helped. And like I've talked with the likes of KJ quite a bit and Stroll, and they've helped me get through it. But what's also helped is Arsenal fans. So genuinely, I want to say, no, guys, you're laughing. I'm not even making a joke. I genuinely want to say thank you.
I believe you, bro. Honestly,
no, I told you, you're Prime. I told you. Arsenal and Arsenal fans are the solution to world peace, fam. So I get it. I understand.
Yeah. And even on Boxing Day, even if say they do beat Chelsea, I actually won't even be mad because I know what's going to happen.
No, I hear you on that. I want to ask you about a question though, because Shane here with the super chat says you create your own luck in football, good and bad. Imagine that was fans in the stadium. It's the only reason why he's getting away with it. On Arteta's comments, Prime, that they've just been unlucky. That's all this is down to, is a bit of bad luck. Do you think he's delusional?
Yeah, I do.
In football, people talk about luck a lot and stuff, and I guess sometimes luck factors into it, but you create your own luck. I mean, look, for example, the big thing about Fergie time. Fergie time didn't really exist, but it was a myth that was, I guess, perpetuated and created, and that seeped in to rival players. So the more you get into the last 5 minutes of games, you get into 90 minutes plus, this thought comes in of, oh, United could nick a goal. And more often than not, you do end up scoring. So whether that's your own quality or other teams being fearful and making a mistake in those added times, it ends up happening, you end up scoring, and you go away with that. Arsenal fans always think they're unlucky, but it's not luck. You're just not that good. Like, the reason I've said you guys should stay up based on your quality, but if you get dragged into a relegation battle, you will get relegated based on the fact of no one in your team is actually fighting.
Here's a question for the Arsenal fans, though. How many of them actually believe that they're A, not in a relegation battle, or B, in a relegation battle? I want to know what the stats are. I want to know what's the split?
It's
How
50-50.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. Something you said there was really interesting, Prime, about the Fergie time thing and how certain things get in your head.
Yeah.
Arsenal fans saying they're unlucky is a very dangerous seed to plant, because if people start believing in it, it's going to give you this false sense of hope that things will turn around. When you're naturally, we've had a bit of bad luck. Bad luck is, do you know what? I've been caught by 3 red lights on the bounce when I'm trying to get somewhere. Do you get me? That's a bit of bad luck as an example. But in a minute, you're going to be okay everywhere else as an example. If Arsenal fans think that it's just going to click into gear overnight with no change to system, to players, to management, to approach, you are literally deluding yourselves. On the Fergie time thing, you're right, though. It did get in people's heads. I saw a stat once, and it wasn't for the entire Premier League time, but it was between 2004 and 2009. Saw it in the paper. They added up all the injury time that was given to Man United and did a comparison across everyone else in the league, we came 7th in terms of most injury time added, right? So it was to disprove the myth we got more time added on than anybody else. But equally, I heard someone say once about Fergie time, and it's one of the greatest comments I've ever heard in my life, where he said, you know, people used to say that Fergie time was unfair because United always got given an extra 5 minutes to score. The guy was like, where did it say in the rules that during injury time, only Man United could score?
It's true.
And I was like, the amount of games where we could have been beaten still if the other team would have just had a bit of, but as you say, in people's heads, it's Fergie time, this is for them. You know, Arsenal fans right now, it's the same thing. We're unlucky. Nah, you're just not that good.
Yeah,
sorry, the Mr. Super Chat says Prime is a sicko for that theory about his dad, but I love it.
Look, on the unlucky thing, I would kind of semi-agree with it if they were creating hella chances and every team that they face against just raised their levels to play the best game they've ever played in their lives. You know what I mean? You know how like some teams against United, like goalkeepers, like Lee Grant, for example, that game for Stoke against United, that he kept out how many shots? Like if every goalkeeper and every team performed like that against Arsenal and they were just pamming teams, I'd be like, cool. They've just been unfortunate teams to step up their levels. But it hasn't been that. They've been the worst side in most of their games. So there's no unlock about it. It's just, get better at the game. And that's all it is.
I could not agree with you more, KJ. We're going to go to Dwayne in a minute. It's been a while since he's been on, but do me a favor, everyone watching, please smash that like button for us right about now. Really important to the Football Terrace. You get that done. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Sign up to our Discord server. The link for that is in the description below. And you can become an official member by clicking join right now or going on that link in the description below as well. Dwayne, Arsenal, are they unlucky or are they just bad?
You know, Terry, even though I haven't been on your show for a while, I've been watching the podcasts, and the delusion of Igal has got me gasping for breath. Firstly. Secondly, the thing about Arsenal is that all these fans, at one point, everyone is, no, Arteta's at the wheel. Arteta got it there. Arteta's going to win. Arteta's going to take us into the top 4. Then the next time, Arteta out. The delusion of the fans is amazing. The thing is, you know what? I'm a Liverpool fan. You all know that. The thing is, even when my club wasn't at its peak, wasn't playing as well as it was, we stood by our manager, we stood by our club. The thing is, they do not understand that you're giving more pressure onto a manager, onto your club, by consistently negatively criticizing them and then positively criticizing them at every single go. Take a stance, stay with it. Don't run your club down. Your club is your club. You know what? As a fan, we can move mountains.
And Dwayne, do you know what, you're right? When I look at like the DTs and the Agals and everybody at the minute, what I'm really intrigued by is if 4 weeks ago you believed in Arteta, I'd have a bit more, not respect. I respect them both as people. I'm talking football opinion only here. Stick with that energy. Do what again? I admit this. I've flipped and switched, and I was talking to KJ. There's a video dropping very, very soon. One of my fan channel review videos where I'm going to be.
Leave Arsenal aside.
Myself.
What about that guy Said, that Manu fan Said? He's one day he's Ollie out, he's crying and stuff, and the next day, hey, we're going to win the league.
No, but that's different though. That's not because that's different. That's different because it's not Saeed saying I don't believe in Ollie, but now I believe in Ollie. It's I don't believe in Ollie, but I believe in the team. So whenever we do bad, he will always put the pressure on Ollie. But whenever we do well, he says, look at the team, we can do this. He even said after the game, we should sack Ollie to win the league. So I think that's different because other Arsenal fans have been saying Arteta's good enough to take us back to the top, and then he's not good enough. Oh no, now he is good enough. Now he's not good enough. Like at least Saeed is got two different camps.
Maybe on that note, he does have a point, right? But then again, I want to go back into some other fans, some other Chelsea fans and Spurs fans who ran my club down, who ran my manager down. I'm sure if they really took a look at who won an award recently, it was none of their managers. It was Jurgen Klopp. And the thing is, Terry, I'm telling you again, Remember when I came on the show previously, I told you that the difference between Liverpool and Man City compared to the rest of the league is that these teams have been constantly hitting 90 points or in thereabout for the past 3 seasons. The difference is, yes, Liverpool will blow a team away today. They'll blow a team away maybe the next day. But they will get a 1-0 win. They will get a 2-0 win. The consistency of the wins is what will win the Premier League. And that's what Liverpool has. That's what City can possibly.
No, Dwayne, I hear that, bro. Listen, mate, thank you for coming on and all your support of the channel, mate. It means a great deal to us here. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Listen, I don't disagree. And on the fans, like I said before, what I was alluding to is I want to see Gal and DT stand by Arteta and say, no, I still do believe in him. One thing I respect about Lee Gunner is he stood on the Arteta bandwagon. I'm sure he had moments where he thought, just won an FA Cup. Should I just say I was wrong and get on board and just save myself all the abuse? No, I'm going to stand by my guns. I've fluctuated up and down when it comes to Ollie, for good and for bad reasons, and I know that I've done that, but I've been quite open about it. I think what's gonna land a lot of gooners in the mud as fans are the ones that appear to be unyielding, where they're now suddenly like Arteta out. I've always been Arteta out, and literally 2 weeks ago they were singing his name. They're the ones who are going to look a little foolish. We're going to add Jono Ross onto the stream now. Jono, what you saying, mate?
What's up, man? Hi, everyone, gentlemen.
Yo,
how you doing, brother?
To be here. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm a huge fan of the football Terrace. Huge, massive football fanatic. My passion, whatever. Anyways, I wanna ask you guys a question. From the previous transfer window, when Arsenal obviously brought in Thomas Partey, and you could see people kind of shifting with the movement. What did you think their performances would be like this season? Because
First of all, I want to say you, my friend, thank you for coming on, and you probably could rival Kai with having the biggest cans, the biggest pair of headphones on the football Terrace, fam. Like, that's amazing.
Hey, man, I work online, bro.
We'd love to see that, man.
Kai's are different though, because Kai's just got a really small head.
But they're amazing. Those headphones are amazing. But in terms of Arsenal and what did I expect? I expected better from them. No one can sit here and say they expected 15th. But the one thing that I'm not shocked at is the lack of chances and the lack of goals that they have right now, because there was heavily.
I am quite surprised by it, to be honest.
Oh, you are. Did you feel like they'll still be able to create more with the team that they've got?
Look, even without Mesut, right? Even without Özil being in the team, and obviously people talk about him being a great assister and a great creative player, etc. I just feel I don't know. When you saw him on the pitch, people talk about Ceballos being a spinning top, right? I felt Özil a lot of times found himself in no man's land, because the plan seemed to be whether Aubameyang was playing through the center or off the left, get it out to him because he's like your main outlet. And I just feel like there's nothing connecting the forward line, the midfield anymore.
Are you an Arsenal
I'm a
fan,
Liverpool supporter.
You're a Liverpool fan. Okay, yeah, Liverpool fan.
No,
yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah,
just a huge football fan.
Yeah, I think what you're saying here about Arsenal, and I appreciate you coming on, Jono, is I expected them to be better than they are right now, even under Arteta. But I didn't. The one thing I said to all Gooners in the summer was, "Oh, we're going to improve. We're going to get better." Yes, but don't naturally think that means top 4. Well, why? Because I think Chelsea and I think Spurs and I think United and I think City and I think Wolves and I think Everton and Leicester over the course of the season are also all going to improve. For you to go from where you were back into the top 4 in one jump, it would mean all those teams would have to stand still, or you would have to improve at such a rate compared to them. And I just didn't see it happening. And I think that even that view from them was delusional. And to the point that a few callers ago was made, like, if they don't wake up and smell the coffee soon, the Arsenal squad, the Arsenal fans, that they're in a relegation fight and they've got to start battling like they're in a relegation fight, they could go down. Sometimes, if I don't know, I was born on a housing estate, so if I ever got into, I grew up with barely any money around me, like on sort of in an impoverished state. So sometimes you can handle, not having, I don't know, this is maybe why lockdown hasn't affected me as much. I was used to growing up not doing very much, so we didn't have any money. Where I think if you're used to living like an open and expansive life, suddenly being kowtowed to your house and not being able to go out is a little bit harder. And I feel like Arsenal are in that space where all their players are like players that you consider to be of the higher echelon? Are they used to being in a relegation fight, battling? I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, you know, they've got into a slugfest when they've got no chin. But Jono, I appreciate you coming on, having your say, mate. Thank you very much for all your support.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Top man, thank you. Next up, we've got man like Z. Z, what you saying, brother?
Arsenal's dying. Arsenal's finished. What are you not saying?
Yeah, we're good, bro. Do you do me a favor? Can you call without the earbuds? Earbuds don't work well on
We take it out.
StreamYard. I'll put you to the back room. Yeah,
do it
about the earbuds. Yeah, we'll do, bro. It's actually nice to see Z's face. I heard the voice, but never seen the face. We're gonna throw in. Who are we gonna throw in? We're gonna throw in Samuel. Are you there, Samuel? Your camera's got. Here he is. Here's a little man. Hello, son. You look. Have you written your letter to Santa yet?
No, I don't celebrate Christmas, Terry.
All right, mate. Take the joke, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, Terry, he's a sensitive boy right now. Arsenal are in the mud. DT's also in the mud, and he's crying, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, it'd be wrong for me to assume you didn't celebrate Christmas. So let's keep this PC, brother. Anyway, how you feeling today?
Still feel like shit, Terry. That's what I still feel like. I think in reality, we are in a relegation battle. This is relegation form. You know, if you look at, I think over 7 games in the Premier League without a win. This is the longest we've ever gone.
Oh, you've actually got to cry, Terry. The music's getting to it.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, bro. Had to be done. Had to be done. Yeah, go on, mate. Carry on.
No, I'm saying we weren't even this bad on the Marwan Shamak Cup front and Bentner. And now Mikel Arteta's coming, you know, he's coming with all the hype. After the FA Cup final, I think everyone warned us saying, you know, we've seen this story before with Arsenal fans. They win the FA Cup, they get carried away saying we're going to challenge for the title next year. Everything's going to change. And I think you said it, Terry, that this is why I want Arsenal to win the FA Cup, because their fans will get too gassed and then the plane will go crashing down come December.
You're saying their fans and Arsenal
fans. I know, I was part of
it. There we go. That's what I want to hear.
And the thing is, I find it really hard to back Mikel Arteta, but I still have to stand by him no matter.
Why? Okay, why?
I think I've put myself so much trust in Arteta. For me, there's no turning back now.
What will it take? What will it take? At what point are you going to be Arteta out? I'm not here to. I don't like trying to invoke the sackage of managers. I'm not here about that. I'm not. I'm not here about that. But you know, I want to ask you as a fan, what is it going to take?
I just want to see what happens in January. If no one comes in and this continues, and I'll see by February he has to go. That's all.
Wait, surely it should be the way around. Surely is it? If he gets nothing, the board have let him down, so therefore we should back him more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the board let him down, they're gonna sack him. That's what I see.
See, for me though, bruv. See, context is always important when it comes to wanting managers in and wanting managers out. So go to someone brought up Said's message earlier about bringing in there was logic in some parts of Said's comment about bringing Poch now to win us the league, and then other comments he made which kind of undone that logic. He said that because Klopp's better than Ollie, we need a better manager so we can win the league. The logic don't make sense because Klopp's the best manager in the world right now, meaning meaning it's actually impossible to get a better manager than Klopp. So that don't work. But equally, I understand the logic that bringing in a better manager than Man United right now makes us play better football, but it's all about context. And the example that I saw people give is Bayern Munich sacked a manager mid-season or 1/3 into a season and went on to win a treble. But they take away the context of that. Man United right now are on an upward trajectory. I've never seen a manager on an upwards trajectory lose their job when you're 5 points off the top, best form in the league at 10 games.
On that,
finish my point. Bayern Munich were going in the other direction. Their trajectory was going down. They were not performing. They were losing games. So they stopped the rot. And that would be my question to Arsenal. If Arteta took over and you were in this situation and was treading water for 5-6 weeks and slightly started to improve, then you kind of back it. The problem is you're sinking very, very quickly. And if you leave it until February, you could get relegated. And it isn't, and I know you've got this grand plan and where you want Arteta to be, but sometimes it can get that bad that you have to pull the rug from under the feet. And the one thing I'd say about Ollie at Man United, every time it looked like it was about to get that bad, he'd pull out a run of results.
The Ollie judge will kick in.
Arteta hasn't done that yet, and that would be my view on this. And the clubs are comparable in many ways, but Ollie has always got to a point where we drew with Villa at home. On the back of a few bad results last December, we then had to play Spurs and City back to back. And that was that moment where we thought we're going to lose them 2 games. That will be it. Man won those games. Mm-hmm. And he's done that consistently. That's what Arteta now needs. For Arteta to save his job, I don't even think focusing on the board, just looking at the managerial element, forget the board for a minute, forget players for a moment, forget signing people in January. Arteta's got to win 3 or 4 of his next 5 games. Has to do it. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter what. And I'm talking Premier League games here. It has to happen. Otherwise, he will lose his job. It's just inevitable. At some moment, Thanos is going to click and he's going to be gone, bruv. It's going to happen. And I think that you have to wake up and smell the coffee when it comes to that.
You know, one thing I want to add to that, yeah, is Arsenal fans don't understand. They're the only team that hasn't been relegated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're the only team that hasn't been relegated, which means it's destiny for the number 1 to get relegated this season. Yeah, I'm just saying that outright. Yeah, just destiny, number 1. But number 2, I was surrounded by Arsenal fans on Saturday. Yeah, and as a joke, I said, "Fam, you man are gonna get relegated. I hope you understand this." Yeah, I was telling them, "You man are gonna get relegated." And a guy asked me, he goes, "I need you to say it with your chest. Do you really believe that?" And I said, "Bro, if you don't get any points in the next 3 to 4 games, every team is coming for you. Every one that you play is like, no, we're going to sink them. This is the chance to sink Arsenal."
Think about it like mob. Do you know what? Think about it. The example I would give is this: the mob world. We've all watched The Godfather and Casino and stuff. As soon as a family shows weakness, they could have been the strongest family ever. As soon as there's weakness, everybody comes in for the kill. Arsenal are losing potency. People are not fearing Arsenal. Man United went through this on a smaller scale, but the same example. Old Trafford was a place no one wanted to come. We've gone for a 3 or 4 year period where visiting Old Trafford it's like a hunting ground for people. Yeah, we all those records that Moyes, LWG, Jose, and Ollie lost. Like the amount of games they I've never been beaten at home by West Brom. I think we lost 2 years running on the bounce to them. Mm-hmm. Spurs had won there like once in 25 years, and I think they've won there like
the Arsenal record, bro.
Arsenal record was amazing for over a decade, and these things happen, but it makes teams come at you. Now, United are on a great run away from home. No one wants us coming to their ground.
Yeah, they're shocked. They're shocked when we come to their gaff. You know what I'm saying?
We know that Leeds attack. Half the reason Leeds were wide open, bro. They spread like peanut butter yesterday, right? The reason they did that is because it was Man United's Old Trafford form's rubbish. We can get them here. And that's where Arsenal are. And you're absolutely right, Alfie. Arsenal in such a position that every team in the Premier League, and I'm talking about Sheffield United, West Brom, they're looking at Arsenal going, that's where we can get points. It's mental.
They're looking at Arsenal. It's like they are the people we need to be fighting. They're our rivals right now. We need to topple them. That's what they're saying.
Fulham will finish above them. I'm certain of it. Fulham showing some grit. I think they're going to finish above them.
And you know what? Yeah, and that's what Arsenal need to do right now. Sorry, there's a super chat there if you want to read that.
No, go on. You got to say.
That's what Arsenal right now. Yeah, just need to consolidate. They need to literally just be secure and just get good draws right now. This is how mad it is. You just need to get good draws to build confidence. Your draws recently have been when you've been 1 man down and you got a man set off. So it's been a panic station draw. It's been like, oh crap, just defend the goal at all costs. What you guys need is one stable performance to build confidence on. And even if it is a draw, you take that and build from that. Right now, I think Arsenal fans are looking for a win. We have to just win and then we're fine. No, you need right now, yes, you need results, but you also need a performance you can at least build off. There's been no performances in this run where you can say, you know what, yeah, that performance there, we can go somewhere with that.
I think that's true. Sam, listen, appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it. We'll chat to you again soon. I'm going to try and get some more callers on. But look at that league table, boys. You look at that. I mean, Arsenal's form in the last 10 games is bad. Last 5 games, literally everybody in the league has got better form than them, barring Sheffield United. This is why it ain't about luck. And do you know the sad bit for Arsenal fans? And speaking of Arsenal fans, we're going to throw in Daniel here to chat to us. Have you seen the next 2 games in all comps? They've got Man City, Chelsea. They legitimately could just lose their next 2 games. And I love this game. Daniel, who do you support, mate?
Chelsea.
You're a Chelsea fan. You must be licking your lips at the thought of playing them on Boxing Day, bruv.
Not really.
No,
not really, because things are a little. I don't know. Lampard he was a great player, but as a manager, I'm not really confident. That I think he's inconsistent, so I'm not sure if we're going to win. But I think our squad is too good to not make the top 4 or top 3, personally. But I really came on to talk about managers getting sacked and Arsenal fans. I'm not really sure where this blaming the board thing came from. I think this is it's become really rampant now to blame the board and to not really focus on the manager being terrible. We fired a God level manager when we were 10th. We were 10th with better players, and we still fired Jose when we were 10th. And they're 15th with a manager who's crap, and they don't want to fire him. Like, we talk about this boards and teams not being run right. I'll use Chelsea. In the last 4 years, last 6 years, we've had 4 different managers. Jose Mourinho, Conte, Lampard, Sarri. Would anybody say that's being run right?
Here's what I'll say. Yes, it is, because that's your model. You have done that for years, like years. But a lot of teams. So wait, what was it? So Chelsea doing that is fine, because the way that you're structured, you're used to doing that. You've won titles doing that. Arsenal have never been like that.
They never had to. Arsenal, the same way United never had to. That's the same way Arsenal
that's the
never
issue.
had to.
But that's the issue. They've never had to. Now they're in a stage of, bruv, you need to start doing this. You know what I mean? You need to start actually being proactive. But they've not used to.
He was 17th. We finished 10th. That's correct.
I think as well, Daniel, Chelsea's football board and the owner, your objective is to be the best football team in England. Arsenal's is not. Arsenal's is to tread water in the Premier League and make money. And I think that's the difference. When a manager gets sacked, it's because, you know what, you're not making us. You've not made us the best team in England. We're going to get rid of you now, and we're going to move on to somebody else that is going to make us the best team in England. Your number one objective as a football club is to win league titles. As an example, be champions of Europe.
Right.
Arsenal's and Man United's are not. So it makes it hard when you go through managers and ethoses, because and the players will feel it. The players will know. The amount of Man United managers, and Arsenal hasn't really come out yet because Wenger won't do it because he loves the club too deeply. Unai Emery is still being paid by Arsenal, so he's under contract with them and can't speak out about these things. But it will all come out in the wash at some point about how bad things are run, how rugs are pulled from under people's feet, players aren't bought into ideas. It will all come out in the wash, and it always seems to do that. We've got some super chats to do here. Franklin says, carry on making fun. January is only 2 weeks away. We will spend. This is December, a long way to go. Chelsea aren't guaranteed 3 points for them at all. Man like Franklin is confident, I would say.
He's right, though.
Wait, I guess my only point, Terry, is that not that Chelsea's board isn't good. My point is, even if your board is terrible, if you have a manager that's top level, you can get through it. Like when we finished 10th the year before we won the league, right? If any other manager but Conte was there, there's no way we're winning.
No,
Conte only Conte could have won with Alonso as left back and Moses as right back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and that point makes sense, Dan. Like that is a fair point. And that's what I've said about Arteta. He's cutting his teeth. He's learning how to be a football manager right now. But you're doing it where even if you're learning to be a manager at a small club and you get relegated, it isn't the end of your career, because
he needs to go.
Some clubs,
Klopp's been relegated.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But if you're at a club where it's acceptable in the grand scheme of things, if your first job is manager of West Brom, being relegated doesn't necessarily make you a bad manager. When you go to Arsenal, the expectation is always well above even being in a relegation fight, let alone getting relegated. On top of that, though, you have a multi-million numbered fan base. You've got maybe 70, 80 million Arsenal fans worldwide on your neck, bruv. When you're managing West Brom, unless you buy the local newspapers, no one's talking about you, bruv. Unless you turn on local radio, no one cares about you. Arteta is just drowning right now as far as I am concerned. Daniel, my brother, thank you for coming on and having your say, my friend.
Of course. Thank you.
Take care, my friend. All the best. Thank you. Next up, we're going to have man like Monster Ahmed, Liverpool fan, big contributor on the Football Terrace. What do you want to say, bro?
Just want to touch up on Arteta quickly because I want to talk about the Salah situation. But I mean, I feel slightly sorry for Arteta and the club, but I don't feel sorry for the fans because when fans come out and say Arteta broke Klopp, or we're going to win the next 5 games, or even so, I think the point of delusion where you say that another manager is not going to make a difference. An experienced manager will make a difference. I mean, you just showed the table, Terry, and look at that. They're in the same form as Sheffield United. And to be fair, I reckon Sheffield United looks to get a first win than Arsenal do in the next 3 games. That's how I think. And yeah, so that's Arteta done. So in terms of Salah and him leaving Liverpool, to be honest, I'm one of the fans who does get frustrated by him, but that's not because of his ability and his stats, because his stats are unbelievable. Like, I mean, what's the word to use? Like that universal level of Messi and Ronaldo at times, sometimes with the stats. But if you watch him in the 90 minutes, I get frustrated by sometimes like he doesn't play the simple pass. But that's me as a fan wanting to him.
Wait, Mansour, are you questioning Mo Salah's decision making?
His passion.
It's well, when I said decision making, I mean,
wait. I'm just saying, are you saying that Mo Salah makes mistakes on the ball? Mo Salah.
Salah.
So if that's true, then Marcus Rashford, yeah, is perfectly fine. that's my point.
I've got no hate on Rashford anyway. I think
I do think Liverpool need to be very smart with either Mo Salah or Mane in the next 12 to 18 months. I think selling one of them for big bucks. So I was looking at I was talking on one of my old consultants' websites the other day. Liverpool have the highest valued squad in the Premier League. And we all know my expectations of squads tends to be on their valuation rather than their purchase price. And the reason I do that after a year or so, and you have to do that because Robertson costs you £8 million and you don't expect £8 million worth of performances from him. I think Liverpool are going to should cash in on that because both those players are in their late 20s now and they've still got a good number of years ahead of them. But there are 2-3 superstars in the making out there in Mbappe, Haaland, and Jadon Sancho, to name 3 of them that I think are attainable right now, but they're going to cost you 150. They're going to cost you between 80 and 150 million for them in terms of total package. And in Mbappe's case, even more. I think it would be sensible to maybe look at someone like a Mo Salah and say, thank you for everything. We know Mo Salah's looking at the possibility of moving away as well. Do it Eden Hazard. Get 140, 150 million pound for him and then reinvest that in your squad to give you somebody in that position for the next 8 to 10 years rather than just the next 3 to 4 years. I don't think that's a bad move by your football club. That would be what I would do if I was running it. Of course, Edwards knows what he's doing.
What you did? You implemented the typical philosophy of the top 4, top 6 into what Liverpool and Klopp do. That's not what Klopp does, though. Klopp will sell like Coutinho, who's selling for 120, and go buy 2 other guys relatively unknown or small that are performing maybe in Italy or something. Bring them in, and all of a sudden they're worth that price tag now. But he's only paid 30, 40 million for them.
Do you know what I'd say though? I mate, you're right in what he's done so far. The difference now is, and I remember seeing this difference at Man United when Man United. Sorry, I've got itchy head. When we weren't winning Premier League or league titles, we started winning Premier Leagues. We took our time getting there. Once you start winning them, the expectation is to keep winning them. And maybe that's what Klopp will do. But is Klopp going to go, right, okay, Salah's going to go. We know what we get from him. We're going to bring the next big thing through. What if that next big thing takes 3 years to actually click into action? They're not all going to start as quickly as Mo Salah did for them. That's where the risk comes in. Because if you do that, let's just say you go out and you buy a 22-year-old, really highly talented, but it takes him 3 years to get going, and Liverpool have a slight drop-off because of it. Fans will get angry. We know what fans are like. Fans will get angry that we haven't got someone. Should have got Haaland because he'd have gone in and scored goals straight away. Should have got Mbappe because we know what he can do. I think this is where the conundrum comes in. When you're at the top, staying at the top, every decision you make gets overtly scrutinized. I'm really intrigued to see what they do in this situation because I say Klopp's got a model that's worked, but will that model keep them at the top, or will there be another couple of years of rebuilding where they're not winning? How will fans react to that? I think it'll be interesting. Can you, Monso, can you see Mo Salah going this summer?
That's a good question, Terry. I mean, so far you've seen kind of his frustration. I mean, he's coming out saying, "I should have been captain at the Champions League game," and he may say, "Oh, it's just a little side thing," but it plays on your head slightly. And you saw his frustration when he got substitute against Brighton. I don't think the club wants to sell him, but if he's a player that wants to leave, I don't think the club would hesitate to sell him, because they don't want to keep an unhappy player and then ruin that mentality that's within the squad. So it doesn't want. I don't think the club wants to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then I think to Alfie's point is absolutely spot on as well. It's what you then do. Do you go for something cheaper, but with the potential to reach that level, or do you go for a ready-made star? It's going to be such an interesting one with the Mo Salah thing. Monso, thank you for all your support of the channel. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. We're going to add David to the stream now as well. David, what are you saying, mate? Actually, I'm going to do some super chats first. Winter Surfer here says, as a Chelsea fan, we would sack Arteta before the FA Cup final. Unlike Arsenal, we are ambitious. I'm going to spend more in January than Arsenal. I hope so, Winter Surfer. I truly hope you do. No doubt. Another one here says, Arsenal are as wobbly as a jelly. Chelsea have a squad of ballers. Arsenal have limited at best. They are toothless. And we got to here says, does this give the bottom 5 momentum to catch up to Arsenal as they are losing games?
Yes.
No, because they keep drawing every time Arsenal drop points. Right, the bottom teams always are in a winning position, and then they drop points all the time.
But David, we all know what happens though when they start sweating, when they smell that relegation, properly. You already know them man down there end up fighting and get points. Remember Sunderland? Every year they smelt relegation.
Mate. I remember Sunderland under Dick Advocat. They were like 10 points away, and then out of nowhere, just
you see what I'm saying? Wigan,
and then they got a draw against Arsenal and got saved. It was mental.
Wigan every year before they actually got relegated. Them man was smell relegation and then kicking the form. These guys are used to it. This is the issue. These guys are used to relegation fights, and they know, we need to fight for this. These men are Arsenal, they ain't used to this. Them men are pampered, bruv. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what could happen as well? You're right. Do you know what could happen as well to a lot of these players? A lot of these players might start thinking, do you know what?
Screw it.
I got a relegation release clause. A lot of them will have these types of things in their contracts, or my pay is going to drop. They're going to have to get, even if I don't, my pay's so high, because a lot of them might not have a relegation release clause, but they'll have I'm going to get paid 375 grand a week, even in the Championship. Arsenal won't be able to afford to pay them that in the Championship for the length of that. Because remember how long their contracts are. So some of these players might get to February and go, do you know what? It's better for me in my career just to get relegated, because I'll get released cheap. I'll be able to move to a club cheaper, get bigger money, and move on from there. Some of these guys can end up just downing tools. For a lot of the players at lower level clubs, like the Premier League is the golden goose.
It's the dream.
So Wolverhampton Wanderers, when I was working with them as a club, all their players had a clause in their contract when they signed that tripled their wages if they went into not all the players that I dealt with, Mendez's guys, but they had a clause which tripled their wages when they moved into the Premier League, which for me is their one of my targets was assets under management. When they got promoted, happy days, because it meant there was 3 times as much money coming in. But if they got relegated back down again, I think it was inside 2 seasons, they would go back to it would be deducted by the same level by 3 times. So this is the thing. A lot of clubs at the lower level, they have these contracts where if you're a West Brom player, West Brom Fulham, they'll have contracts where when you're in the Championship, you're on 15 grand a week. When you're in the Premier League, you're on 45 grand a week. That's something to fight for. When you're an Arsenal player who's disillusioned with the football club and you're like, bro, if I get relegated, I get to leave for free, or I get to leave at a discounted rate. Where's the incentive to keep fighting? Your head's going to want to get out of that club, and the easiest way to get out of the club is to get relegated. Like Arsenal could be, it could be so peak. They probably don't even think about these things. When you're Arsenal, you can leave for free if you get relegated. We're not getting relegated. It's amazing, bro.
What's the best case for these players if they survive? Imagine you're a player in Arsenal right now. What's the best case? What are you going to do? What, 11?
The best case is they hope that Arteta gets sacked and they bring in a better manager and a better quality coach, and that's it.
What is that? But then for next season, what competitions you playing? Just a regular?
Yeah, but the thing is, they I don't think it's the competitions they're in above is going to bother them, because we've seen it with Chelsea before. Them man have been out of Europe and then boom, they win the league that season. It gives them the energy and the fight to go forward again. I genuinely think. I know you're shaking your head. You'll be like, nah. I genuinely think that. I think they'll just be happy that they've got rid of Arteta. We're out of the. We've made it across the line, and we can go again. I genuinely believe that.
We go again. By the way, two things. There's Kai and then big earphones. Secondly, bruv, that is the barest tree. What is on that tree? When are you going to decorate that tree, bro? Man,
there's a story. You know, my girl is at her parents' house, and I'm here for Christmas because of COVID. So I don't know where those decorations are. And I call her out, and she's like, it's in the first shelf. I look in the first shelf. It's not there. You know how girls are, and they just lose everything, you know. I'm like, where's the She's like, look in the second one. I looked in every drawer in this house, and she still insists it's here. And then I just did a guy thing, and I just said, like, F it, you know. Let the tree be, you know.
Are you sure? Maybe she thought she was talking to her other boyfriend. Sorry, bro. That is so. You just opened that one right up, bruv. Arsenal's demise is beautiful. Are you going to beat on Boxing Day?
No.
I hope. I hope, but you know, it's very Chelsea to lose to be that one game that Arsenal win. You know.
Yo, Kai, I know you're a Lampard out. Yeah, I know you're not his fan. Well, like, I can see Arsenal win because it's a Chelsea thing to do, it's an Arsenal thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You telling me you generally don't believe in Lampard that much that you can't get a win against Arsenal?
I mean, we were against an Everton that was struggling and we lost. We were against the Wolves that was struggling that we lost. Who else that we lost against?
West Ham tonight, bruv. West Ham, bruv. Look at West Ham tonight. Let's just scroll up on this little thing here. West Ham are look at that.
Yeah.
Battle of the mid-table teams tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, battle for 10th, man. Jeez.
I might swallow one. I might swallow this later on, yeah, but I think West Ham are going to have them tonight. West Ham have shown some fight. Look at their results. Look at the history.
Lampard is out, man. He's out. There's no way.
He's not out. You're not spending that kind of money. No, it's Roman. If
3 defeats, he's out.
3 straight games in a row. Roman will be at his door.
Wait a second. I'm gonna David. Kai. I already know where. I already know where Kai stands on this. Yeah. David.
Yeah.
I heard in the summer and all last season, Roman's changed. I didn't say that. I know. I'm looking at your opinion on this.
Who was the idiot who told you that, KJ?
They're not gonna sack. They're gonna give him 3 years. They're gonna play the youth. They're gonna make sure that he's secure and give him all the funds he needs to make him champ. Why is it now? Oh yeah, it's Roman. Roman will sack him. Like why?
First of all, I never said that. Whatever Chelsea fan told you that is a bit,
I'm a realistic fan.
Not the smartest
that's who I am. I don't like. Again, I get hate from my own fans because I don't think Mason Mount is God's gift to the earth.
Get hate.
So like,
hate.
Literally, like,
you need a friend, David.
No, but I love it though.
By the way, we're gonna go to ISS who just joined us in a minute. By the way, I did call this out earlier. Why does Troy Deeney wear his earphones like that when he's in a radio station? Have you seen how he had them on his head, bruv? Like this, literally, they were here. Like he had one there, and then one was up there, like on top of his head. It made me laugh. I just look at everyone with their earphones on, thinking, why would a man wear his earphones like that? Anyway, ITEST, what do you want to say, bruv?
Yes. So what I wanted to ask is, if Arsenal get relegated, are they really gonna come back up straight away? Because hear me out, yeah. You made the point earlier, yeah. You made the very good point. When if they get relegated, a lot of their players are gonna leave. A lot of their best players are gonna leave because they have clauses that say they could leave. Like Aubameyang's probably gonna leave, Partey's gonna leave. But usually when teams get relegated, for example, Sheffield, if they get relegated, a lot of their players aren't gonna leave because that's their level. These players, that's their level. So they're gonna keep a lot of their players so they don't have to replace a lot of players. So if Arsenal get relegated, they're gonna have to replace a lot of players. Aubameyang's gonna leave, one of their best strikers. Partey's gonna leave. So, if you think about it, they might not even come back straight. They might not even come back straight away.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I think I agree with you. You got a point. Because imagine it, yeah, the exodus. Imagine that you list the players. The starting 11 gone. Like besides Saka, that starting 11 gone. The subs bench, half of the man, most of the man gone. They're going to be left. They're going to be left with the youth. Them.
The thing is, Eddie and players like Eddie and Ketia, they're youth players, have already failed at championship level. Could get a game.
And that's why and if you look at the youth that they've got here, besides Saka and Martinelli, can you really believe in those youths to survive the championship?
They're in trouble. They're in trouble. If they get relegated,
let's say it. Say it for what it is, bruv. I know everyone's beating around the bush. Just say it for what it is, bruv. Yeah, are they the next Leeds, bruv? Are they the next 2004 Leeds, bruv? Just say it. Say it for what it is.
I would give up my first son. I would give up my first son for Arsenal to go down, man. That's how much I want it to go down, man. I would literally do a Moses, man. That's how
You've got Prime saying his dad's dying wish was to let Arsenal be in the mud. You got Kaya saying I would give up my firstborn.
That would be so glorious, man. Literally.
For them to be in the mud, fam. Oh my gosh.
And you know what it is? They actually still think Awar would go to them after being 15th. They actually think Allegri is going to come and save them from the championship. The delusion in that fan base to think that a manager would be like, oh yeah, Arsenal, I want to come and fight relegation mid-January. That sounds like fun. That sounds like a good investment for my part, you know? It's just insane. They think, the biggest example is AC Milan, right? If any of you remember that time that consistently AC Milan was barely finishing 10th, 12th, the level of player that they were able to attract, it's similar to Arsenal. But Arsenal fans think, yeah, our pool is still strong in their team compared to the team that they had 2004.
They have quite a few. You got Pepe. Oh, no, not even Lacazette. You got Aubameyang, Bellerin.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the teams that Arsenal might have to play next season. So, can you imagine this, boys? Can you imagine this? Arsenal versus Wycombe Wanderers.
If they survive. Ashton Gate away. Oh, they got Millwall away next year. But
there's more. There's Rotherham United, Coventry, Millwall, Preston. Hang on, there's a good one here for DT and all the AFC boys. They're playing Luton next year. They've got a local club. Huddersfield Town have been in the Premier League. Cardiff, Bristol City, Reading. I mean, the one good thing is there's quite a lot of teams in there that have been in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But obviously, then you could get the promoted teams as well, innit? You could get the promoted teams.
They've got to go back. They've got to go back to Stoke. They've got to go back to Stoke.
Oh yeah, got to go back to Stoke. Good game.
DT, we're here in Bolton. You know, disappointing result today. I'm gonna die, man. I'm just gonna die, man. If that's gonna happen,
I've got a question. How much of the fan base would abandon Arsenal?
Internationally, I think 20-30% inside. If they don't come up straight away, and what you will see is people are a lot less interested. So
Terry.
Every football club like this, by the way, and Man United only in the early 90s weren't filling out Old Trafford. If clubs go through major turmoil, you generally find that most clubs, even the biggest, will only have around 40,000 diehard. I'm going to every game, even if we're in the conference level of football, and people fall away from it. You know, I always remember, do you know what always annoys me? But I love the FA Cup third round. What always annoys me when you see the small and local teams play a Premier League giant and suddenly the stadium's full and they're all in there cheering them on. Oh, we love our club. It's like, no, you don't. Otherwise, you'd come every week, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? Don't you only hear this week because you're going to get to see Wayne Rooney playing or something like that. But no, I think they'll lose massively. They'll still do 55,000 seats at the Emirates. But I think internationally, you'll see shirt sales drop. You'll see less people subscribing to their TV because it's not the Premier League.
You'll see the Cronkies sell.
Can I say something? No. I think they will lose a lot of fans once Ozil leaves as well. Because if you remember when Ozil came in, a lot of the shirt sales, if you look at the numbers, most of them are Ozil shirts. And as soon as that guy's is off.
Yeah, will you stop supporting Arsenal when they go down?
I thought he's a United fan. Is he really?
No. It's not.
Anyway,
really.
I have a message for all the people. Arsenal Football Club, they're teaching us a lesson right now. This lesson is to be grateful. Because a couple years ago, I remember they were complaining about only getting top 4. The stuff these people would do to get top 4 right now. I remember after the Bayern Munich game, the rants in AFTV when Trips was saying, my mom's wearing got out. Is she mad? No, she wasn't mad. She was grateful, and now You see, now it's just a lesson of greatness. Be grateful for gratefulness. Be grateful for what you have, man, because now you'd kill for top four.
What is the expression? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Arsenal they've done. That's what's amazing. I think that's also why some of the gooners we know from socials are so angry, because they got everything their heart desired, and it was poisonous. The grass was not greener on the other side. And I got a friend who did that once. He left his missus and his kids to get with his dream girl from work. It didn't go so well for him. She robbed him. She robbed him about 90G, bro. And he went away for the weekend with his mate. Come home, door wouldn't undo. Kicked him out. New man moved in. Went to the bank. Joint account emptied. The business they run together. She was the director. He wasn't. She sacked him. Man had nothing. She owned everything. She took his life. And I always remember thinking, bro, you left for that sweet taste, and he didn't go. That's Arsenal. If I'm gonna ring him and see if he's willing to come on and talk about it, and this will be the embodiment of Arsenal. He left. Basically, Arsenal fans, you had your missus of like 30 years, comfortable, feet under the table, in your routine, but no real spark anymore. And you went, right, I'm gonna go for the partner that's 20 years younger than me and exciting. This is gonna work and make me happy. And now you're destitute, bruv. Nowhere to live. Begging your ex-wife to bring you back.
You know what's funny? Terry, I remember you saying this in like during lockdown. During lockdown, I remember you saying this, fam. And just remember it now. It's beautiful, fam. They deserve this, don't they?
You know what? For sure. You know when I first ever felt that Wenger out, yeah? You know, banners and marches and all of that. You know when I first ever saw that, yeah? You're thinking, bro, Wenger achieved what he achieved with them players. He was selling his best players year in, year out to finance.
And the football as well. The football was beautiful to watch as well.
And the football was beautiful, and he was getting you top four, and you were making it out of the group stages of the Champions League. You were playing the likes of Bayern in the first knockout stages. Yeah, you were getting knocked out, but you still made the top four. Yeah, and he was doing that consistently. And you weren't happy with this. You were like, nah. Banners, Wenger out, and all of this, yeah. Even though my man was bringing in the football, yeah, and he was bringing in the money, and then because of your years upon years of doing this, yeah, he eventually won a trophy, and then stayed on one more year. But you just kept on like, no, you have to leave. You have to leave. We're bigger than this. We need a title, and you got exactly what you asked for. You got him to leave. He's gone.
Yeah. I just want to, Kendrick, what are you talking about, bruv? Everyone banters us when we were in the bar half of the table, and when we got knocked out the UCL. Everyone did it, bro. Arsenal fans, you lot.
This is literally from when Arsenal beat us and we were 14th.
Yeah. You got bodied from start to finish, blood. Yeah.
That was from today. So we definitely did. There's a super chat here actually about United, and it's true. Someone said they've done exactly what you said, Terry. Roy Keane said you're in a title race. Like I told everyone, Man United fans have got to drop this title race talk. The reason that the Saeeds of this world, and
I'm not with you.
No. But you've been on this from the start. What I'm saying is, right, I believe a lot of the Ollie outers will go, we're in a title race, so they can throw it back at Ollie if it doesn't work. That's not what you're doing, though, Alfie. You're not going to completely say, I would have won it if it wasn't for Ollie, just outright. Also, the media are now going to start putting United into a title race because they want to do to us what Spurs and Chelsea did to themselves 2 weeks ago by saying they were in a title race. If it goes a little bit wrong, they can say, you've collapsed and you've bottled it. It's all set up. It's a house of cards.
Do you know why we're not going to? We know why we're not in a title race and we're not going to be in one, because Rio cursed us again. That fool blood man had to go and tweet who's at the wheel after the Leeds game. Why? Rio, look at me, Rio. I'm talking to you, Rio. If we have a bad run, yeah, this is on you, fam. Because the last time it happened, you were the cause or one of the causes, bro. So I'm telling you, fam, please delete the tweet. Delete it.
No, I hear that.
Listen, do you know why it's all right to have faith? I'll tell you. I was having a 1 hour long conversation with my boy about this. The Ollie out guy, the even more severe than Rants and Bants. He's more severe. He's an Ollie out. And I said to him last night, I said, look, bro, yeah. Ollie said last season, beginning of the season, he said, listen, I need these 4 players. You give them to me, yeah, this is what I'll achieve. And you only got him 75% of that. You got him 3 players, yeah? and we started the season terrible until January, until he got his 100% backing. He got Bruno. What did my man do in the league ever since Bruno came in? He delivered on his promise 100%. We did not lose unbeaten, in the league until the end of the season. As far as I'm concerned, he's a man of his word. He said, give me these 4 players, bro, I will go unbeaten. He lived up to his word. Then he looked at the season this season and said, listen, I need these players. Give me these players and I will do the business. And we did not fully back. He didn't get fully back. His number 1 target, we didn't get. So as far as I'm concerned, Ollie is on the upward trajectory and you didn't back him 100%. If we can back him 100% in January, best believe there is a title race on.
And I understand, and I'll make you right there, Alfie. If in January we were to sign, if we're in touch and distance to Liverpool, we get a positive result at Anfield, and we bring in 1 or 2 more pieces of quality that Ollie wants, and maybe being in a title race, and even doing that, if we're 2 points off Liverpool, get a draw at Anfield, and then the owners go, listen, look, we'll bring you in Jackie Grealish like you wanted in the summer. I'll actually turn around in that instance and say to the Glazers on the board, fair play to you, because it actually looks like you're trying to win something, and that's what I want to see from my club. I want to see us try and win trophies. Like City, like Liverpool, like Chelsea, and even like Tottenham have tried to do in recent years, where they want to go for these things. That's what I want my club to do, is have that ambition. The only reason I'm not putting us in that title race yet, though, is based on what you've said, because the club doesn't always back Ollie in the right moments, in the right times. There's always a rug being pulled from under somebody's feet in some way, shape, or form. And all I'm doing is protecting my club and even protecting my own sanity more than Man United. I don't want to allow myself to get pulled into this. We could do it, and then it all goes wrong, because we could go through the next 4 games and do what Spurs and Chelsea have just done.
But you know what?
That's a low blow, Terry. That's a low blow, man.
It's true, Kai.
It's true.
That is a low blow, man.
Do you know that?
But you know what, United fans, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you think if Ole was a little bit more of like clean, cool, with a suit, Argentinian, would United fans support him more? The Ole out there would support him more. Because if you look at it from an objective point of view with his stats, he's actually doing pretty good. I think only Sir Alex has a higher percentage of win rate since Sir Alex. So I think he's doing quite well with the squad that you have. I don't think your squad is that well. But I just don't think
I don't think it's his nationality as such. I think if he was a better talker, I think if he was more articulate,
if he didn't look like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, if he didn't look like
that's what I think too. I think if it was more a suit or
personality, sometimes I see some people talk and they talk nonsense, but they do it with the right accent. They do it with they do it with whatever it may be, bruv. Like, people can just do something. Their accent, their clothing, the way they come across, the way they hug people, can always just endear.
Coming from Hogwarts,
Bielsa's a great example. People like Bielsa's style of football, but people also like the way Bielsa is as a man. Lives above a sweet shop in the town centre. Man goes spying on these rival teams. Everyone's like, oh, he's a
strongest knees in the Premier League.
Yeah, like sitting on a bucket and stuff. All these weird. I'll tell you a good example. LVG. Everyone wanted him out, right? We beat Arsenal when we shouldn't have done, when we had about 25 kids on the pitch, right? When we had all these injury problems. And he did that mad thing where he fell over onto the floor and play acted. I remember a respected United fan saying, if he'd have done more things like that, people wouldn't have turned on him as quickly. When you think about that logically, right? So if you'd have acted like a clown more often or been funnier, you would have backed him more. Yeah. It goes to show you, it's why certain people win X Factor over the most talented singer. It's why certain people win reality shows over the actual nice person on there, because sometimes just being a character can elevate you above people. And I think that's the one thing Ollie lacks. I love Ollie as a player. I respect him as a man, but he is fucking boring, bruv. Like, he is legit. I wouldn't want him at a dinner party. Once he's told me the story about the dressing room after 99, I don't want to hear too much.
It's true, but I think he's learning grit, though. There was that interview that he gave, and he was like, "No, you set us up to fail. We were set up to fail today."
He's that scrappy. He tried to scrap Wilder on the touchline, fam. I saw that. I was like, "Oh, is that the same Ollie, fam?"
So he's learned. Do you see? And I think that's coming with the performances. You can talk like that when your team is beating you. I mean, or when your team is beating the opposition team.
Oh, I get that.
You start to learn that you can't be doing that whilst you're like losing, like Jose. Not like Jose.
I get that, bro. I think what he sort of suffers with is, like a lot of the class of '92 and that Fergie era, is he's almost overly media trained. You know, the other day where he said it was stupid when he said it, but I got what he meant, right? Where he said, "Oh, we can't feel sorry for ourselves." Oh, but no, we have to feel sorry for ourselves. What he meant was, we're going to feel sorry for ourselves tonight, but we'll pick ourselves up tomorrow because we can't allow that to drag into the weekend. He just sometimes overthink.
That's to do if you understand different nationalities, Terry. Yeah, that's to do with the Scandinavians and the translation of the Scandinavian language and how they adopt that into speaking.
Yeah, but that's the point. No, the point is that it's a minor thing, but because it dictates the way he talks and stuff, people are annoyed by that. You know what I mean? Like they get annoyed by these little things.
I don't think you should. But
you shouldn't.
I make you right, Alfie, but people are like that. You know, Jurgen Klopp, if he hadn't have been as charismatic in that first 2.5, 3 years before they started winning things, they would have turned on him. What they loved about him is the way he'd stand up for the club, the way he would be funny. You know, Fergie had
fans after a 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace.
Fergie did something once when we lost to Barcelona in Champions League final, the second one, I think, and some journalist tried sticking the knife in and said, if you could sign any one of Barcelona's players, which one would it be? And Fergie just pulled a disgusted face and just went, Mascherano. Like as if you wouldn't pick Messi, and everyone laughed. And it's like, I feel bad, but Fergie's just cheered me up. Like Ollie for me couldn't land that joke. Does that make sense? And people, they endear to that. And Ollie's just not a salesman. Ollie is not a salesperson, if that makes sense. He can't. Arteta's a prime example. Arteta looks and sounds like. If you see people build a manager on football, they want to look like that. I want to look suave and cool. I want to dress like I'm a 50-year-old top man model. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm going to do. He speaks with a corporate tongue, and everyone goes, "Oh, I've bought in."
You know what Arteta is? Arteta is a carpet seller, man. He's a carpet seller. If you go to like if you go to the Middle East and you go through this like bazaars, the markets.
Oh, man saying
that's Arteta.
Man saying he's out there in Morocco, in Marrakesh market, fam. You know what I'm saying?
He could sell you the worst carpet ever and tell you it's Persian. And then as soon as you get it home, that thing is torn, man.
He's doing that thing, you know, when people sell you jackets that are too big for you, he's holding it scrunched up at the back so that fits your shoulders. He's basically the Spanish Del Boy. He has just sold a lie to these gooners. And again, Lee Gunner called him out on this. I remember doing shows with Lee Gunner where he was talking about, he just listed all the buzzwords, non-negotiable this and project that. And when you're sitting there listening to it, he just knows what words to say. Brendan Rodgers, he's a better manager and coach, by the way, than Arteta. But Brendan Rodgers was amazing at it. I remember listening to Brendan Rodgers at Liverpool, and he was the first manager I ever heard call a season a project. He says, the players are bought into the projects. He said something once, and I remember Jamie Carragher, I want to say it was Carragher, it might have been Gary Neville. They laughed at it because it was like they as football men didn't know what it meant. Where he says, we did really well today. We dominated the spaces and we managed the territories well. And they looked at it, and all he was doing was that kind of, it's pseudo football talk, as I call it, where you're just changing words to kind of, you're getting a thesaurus again. What word can I use for this? And you throw a few, you do a Russell Brand, you throw a few big words in when describing a simple thing, and it makes you sound like it's better than it is. But fans love it. Fans literally get hard-ons and go, "Oh my god!"
Surprised explained his hexagons yet. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly, bruv. You know, an inverted.
Ever since Terry brought out that hexagon video, it's not gone so well, has it?
I like that Lampard swagger. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, after I see him after games, win, lose or draw, I like his swagger. I like because he's hardly smiling. Do you know what I mean? I know what you're talking about, Terry. When you're like, you know, this guy Ollie, he'll take an L or a draw, but he's out here on the interview smiling. But Lampard doesn't matter. He's just like straight face. Yeah, we could have done better today, and we'll take the positives out of it. And you're just like, yeah, that's what. But this guy's not happy with just to win it. This is.
Wait, you see Kai's face switch as soon as you mentioned Lampard, fam. He was smiling
because that's not true. That's not true, man. We lost to Everton, and the first thing he did was smile about something that I don't even remember what it is. I was so livid, man. I couldn't even listen to what he said.
I'm the other way around. See, this is the thing for me. This is where I don't buy into it. I used to buy into it all right, but I remember being mad angry with the Sun because England got knocked out of a World Cup, and there was pictures of Rooney, Ashley Cole, one other player I don't remember, on a runway, and they had smiles on their face, and one of them had a cigar in his hand. And they were like, how dare you be happy when the country's in mourning after going out the World Cup? And I was angry with it. I was like, yeah, like I was young. And then you kind of grow up and realize these guys are disappointed. Imagine having a bad day at work, But then me telling you as your employer, or imagine you have a bad show, KJ, Midnight Vibes, bad week. You make some mistakes, doesn't go so well. Imagine all your viewers, which on average at the minute is 15,000 people, which is minuscule compared to the viewers of watching England play football. Imagine they basically follow you about and make sure for at least a week you don't smile or laugh or have fun or see friends or family. That's exactly what we say to football players is after you lose, you cannot be happy with your life. You cannot see your wife. You can't smile. You can't give an interview and put a brave face on it. Just forget football and think about that through to its nth degree. Imagine you were told as a human being, you've got to do that if you had a bad day at work. We'd all be up in arms. So why on God's fucking green earth do we have the audacity to tell football players they cannot smile? They cannot do this. How dare you go out for dinner with your I heard you went home and smiled at your child after losing at the weekend, Wayne Rooney. That's literally how we treat these footballers.
How dare you?
We're the wankers.
How dare you change your hairstyle because you can change your hairstyle? How dare you dance with your brothers because you can dance with your brothers?
Did you see what Roy Keane did yesterday? By the way, I know there are some people on socials that will go after Paul Pogba and it's from a bigoted angle. There are people that do that. Thousands of them. Telling you all for weeks. So being triggered by the media and by the pundits when it comes to Paul Pogba, you're being Pied Pipered. You are the rat, they got the Pied Piper. Did you see what Roy Keane threw in yesterday? He said that he thinks Scott McTominay's haircut might have helped him. It's made him look sharper and more serious. Now, I know
he didn't say it like that, Terry. Don't blow it out of context. He didn't say it like that.
What did he say?
He said he was excellent on the ball. He said, no, he was excellent on the ball and his passes. And he goes, and I don't mind his haircut. He said, and I don't mind his haircut either. It makes him look a bit sharper. But he was taking a dig at Pogba. That's all he was doing.
But that's my point. His point was a joke. What I'm saying is, though, that's going to be the way I explained it is how people hear it. Why are you saying his haircut makes him better, but Paul Pogba makes him worse? The man's got you on toast. What you're meant to do is ignore all those kind of comments, but they do it on purpose. They want to trigger you. They want to get Roy Keane trending again. I'm telling you, those things are scripted. I'm telling you, someone's telling him in his ear, dropping a comment like this. It's coached, bruv. It's staged.
You might think so, but honestly, I am with Roy Keane. You man know already, yeah? In the last couple of days, I am Pogba out. Not even Pogba out. I am Pogba leave. I am Pogba. You're free to do whatever you want. I am Pogba. Do whatever you need to do, but don't do it here anymore, please. Yeah, because
will he leave in January though, or would he stay in United?
I don't care if he wants to leave in December, bro. On Christmas Day, bro.
I don't have an issue with that opinion. My point is this, though: people that get if people want him gone, I don't have an issue with that. People that get triggered by Roy Keane, where Roy Keane says, "Oh, the guy cares more about his hair than he does playing football." People that get triggered by that, it's like. You're making the situation. I've given these guys feedback on here before. When you're new to the football terrace, you'll generally always get a group. They'll just come at you in the comments. The more you react to those negative comments, the more you catch it on fire. Now, some of the comments are bigoted. Some of the comments are extremely horrible. But there were things that used to upset me years ago. People used to say to me about my kids. I used to react to it, and all I got was more. I've gone for a 3-year period where I just don't acknowledge those people. I don't block them either. I just let them stay there. They don't get any reaction from me. They've stopped doing it. And that's the thing with Paul Pogba. If everybody ignored the stupid comments about hair and dancing, the pundits and the media would stop talking about it. It becomes a vicious cycle, in my opinion. And I think that's it made me laugh when I read it. I'm like, without even hearing him say it, I then went back and listened to it. I was like, that's a dig at Pogba. I wonder how many people that triggered. And if you've been triggered by it, you're like a what's that thing called when you can't stop bleeding?
Hemorrhage.
No, like you get a cut and you can't stop bleeding. It's got a word. I want to say necrophiliac, but that isn't the right word.
That's definitely not the right word.
No, that's
the word in my head, and it's
yeah. I know what you're thinking of though, where you bleed easily.
You don't stop bleeding. It's got a word like that. But that's what these people are. They're like so sensitive. And now the media throws salt on the fire all the time. Like, you don't think it's a coincidence? Every time we're not in a bad space at United, Sky find the perfect moment to go to the bench when Ollie's sitting in a way that fans hate. You know, when Man United are losing a game and Van der Beek's on the bench, they always pan across to Van der Beek's face when he's not looking happy. They won't look at him. How do you say that word, people?
Hemophiliac.
Hemophiliac. There we go. Yeah, there we go. People are walking hemophiliacs. That's what they are. Like, oh, I'm so sensitive. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. You've got to ignore this. You've got to ignore it. Haircuts make no difference unless you're playing at Wembley. If you go to Wembley without a haircut, you're going to lose. Superstition. It's just weird.
Random.
No, it was something I said to us once. We were going to a thing there, and some old football coach of ours, a really respected guy, basically said, like, if you ever play at Wembley, you'd be like freshly shaven and have a haircut. It's not a real thing. It's in my head. And then I didn't believe him. I was like, nonsense. And then this guy, we were watching a playoff final, and this guy stood up and he was taking the fourth penalty for his club. I don't remember which club it was. And his hair was scruffy. He was all unshaven. And he missed. And it stuck in my head that he missed. I was like, oh my God, my teacher was right. That's all it was. That's all it really was. But Terry, it plays into the underlying bias this society has with certain players, is they are generally people who believe that haircuts matter. Listen, I understand all of that. And there are people that push on it for those reasons. The point I'm making, though, is that to stop the fuel being thrown onto the fire, in some respects, to the things like that about Paul Pogba, I say ignoring elements of it makes it go away quicker than reacting to the Scott McTominay comment yesterday, because it's like, because all the media companies care about, forget what their public campaigns say, they care about clicks, they care about views, they care about making money. And whenever somebody says something about that's controversial and they can twist it into, I'm surprised we haven't seen the headlines today of Roy Keane has slide dig at Pogba. Everybody makes money out of it. Everybody wants to find the clip and watch it on YouTube or go onto the Sky app. All the websites and newspapers get clicks because of it. That's what they care about. They don't care about the underlying issues. I'm saying, but if you want to stop them from making money off the back of it, you have to ignore the problem. If you make something trend, more people will do it because it's going to make money. Why do you think so many people love ranting down phones now after their football teams? Why? Because they get attention. That's what they want. It's the same process. It really, really is the same process, in my opinion, anyway. That's not to say we should, just so that nobody's confused, that isn't to say that we should ignore racism or sexism or homophobia. That is not what's being said at all, in case anybody out there struggles to listen or has a lack of brain functionality. Listen, everybody that's tuned in today, really do appreciate your views and your opinions. Hour and 40 minutes. That's gone a little quick. I didn't know it was that late. Jesus. Kai, David, going to win tonight?
Yeah.
Look at that. Kai, let me ask you a question. Do you want to win?
I hope. I want to win.
Do you want to win? Do you want Lampard gone?
I want to win so bad, man. I want to win so bad.
If you lost today and it meant Lampard getting sacked, would you take it?
No, because I never would want my team to lose, man. Ever. I'm not that guy, man. But I just don't think. See, I will back Lampard. I just don't think that he's the guy to win us titles going forward. That's it. But I will still back him. I'm saying,
watch Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, and Ziyech all be fit, and Werner still be a winger. That's what I'm waiting for.
Thank God my dog's in the other room, man. I'll start beating them. If I see that lineup, man, my dogs are getting abused. I'm telling you,
Oh my God! You know what?
I'm joking. You can't even joke nowadays, man.
There's a comment here about what I said, Terry. That's exactly the same as your panel on your show. They say things to trigger the trap. Yeah, but this is fans. Like we are not professional pundits or a media outlet. We are football fans talking seriously sometimes, but also sometimes having banter. That's cool. I don't want the BBC giving me banter, bro. I don't want Sky bantering. I don't want that. I want them giving me professional football opinion, a few funny stories along the way. This is what we're here for. But like, do you get what I mean? Like when I go to the doctor, I don't want my doctor talking to me like he's my best mate. All right, bro, how you doing, son? I know.
You only got 2 years left, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, bruv, listen. I got a joke for you. You know, yeah. No, I don't want any of that. I want that to certain areas. I want it to be professional. That's all I'm saying to you. You can't equate fans via StreamYard on YouTube bantering each other over football the same as somebody from the Telegraph moaning about a haircut. Bruv, you went to uni for a degree to moan about a haircut. Mug. Simple as that. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very